Welcome back, fight friends, to another episode of the mighty Shout Out Fight Podcast. How is everybody doing today? We're pumping out the last 2 weeks. In the house, we have absolute Muay Thai World Cup stunner here, Anthony El Guapo Palombo. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. You know what? I had Yuki from Boss Thai Boxing on the last one, and I called him most handsome man in Canadian Muay Thai.
He's a very handsome man.
I don't know, buddy. You might have a shot there. You might be in the running.
I'm trying to get there, man. I gotta ask Yuki what he does, what his skincare is.
Stop fighting. How are things, man?
They're great, man. They're good. Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in, especially fresh off a hot win, man. And I'm sure we're going to break that down. I also have a bunch of fun questions for you to answer.
Oh, wicked. Perfect.
But yeah, let's, before we get into the actual Muay Thai World Cup, what have you been doing since then? Or from then, the end of it to now, what have you been up to?
So for about a week, I just kind of chilled out because, gotta let the body heal. I had a couple bumps and bruises from that wicked scrap. So took a week off of training and kind of just chilled out, taught a lot of classes, and then started training again last week, and we're back to full swing of things now. So
nice. And I talked to a lot of people, man. You might have to remind me from the first podcast, but so you're teaching classes and obviously training as well, fighting, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I work full time at my gym,
right.
Bellegarde Dragon. So I teach kids classes, teens classes, adult classes. So constantly, in the gym doing, private lessons, clients all the time.
Nice.
So it's my whole life, right? Teaching, training myself and fighting.
The life, man.
Yeah, dude, it's wicked. It's crazy.
What's your favorite group or class to teach?
Honestly, it's gotta be my teens class.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they are they're awesome. To get some teens in and, they get they're a little bit older, so they pick things up a little bit faster than some of the little kids. And, they get very inspired by, the fighters in the gym. So when I go out and fight, they're all as stoked as I am when I come back from a win, or they feel the loss as much as I do if I come back from a loss. And, it's really cool to have that little group of kids that, look up to you while you're teaching and really take after what you say and what you do. And so I think that group is probably my favorite.
Yeah. And how old are you?
24.
24. So, yeah, that teenage group, I mean, they can certainly relate to you more than they can me, back in 1985 and all that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, that must be, I can see how a young group like that, you're someone to look up to. You're not necessarily close in age, but a little more relatable.
Yeah.
They get to see you on the mats. They get to watch you train, they teach. Do you feel that, do you feel that love from them?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, cool. It's pretty awesome, and it's
I mean that they look up to you kind of love. Do you?
Yeah, no, totally. Because when you see kids when they first come to the gym, you can see them change, right? And influence on the change, right? So when I'm teaching or just talking or doing things, I can see them pick up what I'm doing, what I'm saying, and then, telling new people who are also coming in the same things I told them. So that's super interesting, super cool. And, it's very, very awesome to see happen in real time, with a group, it's cool to see the ladder, kind of the longest student that's been there for a while and then kind of go downhill and you see them give the advice that you gave them all the way down, and it's very cool. It's super cool.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. One of the definite benefits of being an instructor, just helping people grow, and and then they spit out the same thing as you're saying. Hey, I know,
you're like, I know where you got that. Yeah, exactly.
I probably got it from someone else.
And that's the beautiful art of martial arts, right? Is that we all inspire each other and we all hold each other to a high standard and we all grow together. It's awesome. It's so cool.
Agreed. Do you feel do you put any pressure, whether good or bad, but like recognizing maybe that group you teach of young teenagers, like, oh man, I gotta look good out here. Like, do you feel any of that?
Yeah.
Do you do that to yourself?
Sometimes. Yeah, totally. Well, especially, going out and when they talk to you at the gym and they're asking you, oh, are you going to win? How are you feeling? Are you okay? Like, they ask you questions and they see you train and they see you cut weight. And so they're in your face all the time and they're asking you stuff. And so you have to be, I'm going to win. I'm going to go out and knock them out, and,
right.
And then when it doesn't go that way, you got to come back and be like, oh shit, like, it didn't happen. Yeah, exactly. But when it does happen, you come back, you're like, yeah, see, I told you I was going to do it. So, yeah. So you do hold that a little bit, I don't hold it too heavily, but it's definitely there.
Sure. And fighters who are listening, I know, and I hear this complaint a lot. We all get it. You guys get it. I know that a million people come up to you. Oh, you ready? You feeling good? You on way? Listen, I know you get that question a million times. What they're really trying to do is just communicate with you and show you support. So don't be poopy about it, okay? Oh, I get that 500 times. Yeah, they're just trying to, it's like when you meet somebody. So, oh, what do you do for a living? Like they're just trying to show support.
Totally,
So
totally.
Relax.
Totally. And yeah, that's so true because I had to learn that too. When I first started fighting, especially when you first start, you don't really know anything. You don't know how to cut weight. You don't know the nerves. You don't know the buildup. You don't know
Right.
any of that. So when you first start getting that and people are coming up and talking to you all the time, I remember I'd go home just fucking angry.
Yeah.
So like, why is everybody asking
Leave
me
me
this?
alone.
Like, I don't need to hear this right now. But then like you said, you go through experience and then you realize like, oh, they're just trying to show love in how they know how, right? And that's
Yeah.
just saying what's up,
Yeah,
because
of
they
course.
don't know either, right? They're like,
Right.
oh, how are you feeling? Because I've never been there,
Right.
So
And fighting is one of those things to me, like the reason we all look up to fighters is because so many people, and of course there's different sort of tiers, but there's only a certain amount of freaks that can get in there and do it as often as someone like you does, you freak. So
thank you.
and so when you think about it, it's the like for me, when you think of like the rawness and like it's the oldest form of competition, you know what I mean? Like there's something primal in us that we look up to fighters for that reason, because most of us, like, and damn near all of us, just can't do it, the it. And so in saying that, we look up to fighters, and so you're just looking for like 30 seconds, man. I just want to talk to the champ for 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, totally. 100%, man. And the more that I've fought in, I've gotten really good at being able to do that. Like at first I used to it was hard for me, it was really
that
hard.
right,
Like
eh?
when people would come up and talk, I was like, especially when cutting weight, I didn't know how. So I was like doing everything wrong, starving myself terribly, training way too much, wearing sauna suits for a ridiculous amount of time,
Yeah.
So it was hard because I was just dead, so I don't even have the energy to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then somebody come and ask me about the fight that's coming up. I'm like, dude, just
be.
leave me alone right now,
Read the room.
But now as, more experience and gotten way better at the craft, cutting weight, training, fighting, I actually look forward to it during fight week, when the fight's getting closer and people coming up and asking me, I'm like, I love it now. I want to talk all day long. Like I will sit there and talk for hours, about fighting and
all the
cutting
support,
weight.
man, all the love.
Yeah. It's wick. It's the passion, right? And so it's awesome. I love it.
That's why I love fight events too, man. Like, whether I have a crazy after party or not, I can't go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning. You're surrounded by everybody that enjoys the exact same thing you do, and you get to do it about 4 or 5 times a year. Yeah, everyone's here. Yeah.
Oh, it's wicked.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the best, and then like that's the whole thing, is to just socialize with other people who are just as messed up as we are, is the best thing ever, just surrounded by your people.
That's what we do for fun.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's rare, not everybody does this. It's like 1% of people that, actually do this sport and go out and fight somebody else. And so to be surrounded by them all in one building is just the funnest thing.
Yeah, you're all on the same page.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, let's break it down a little bit. First of all, I was peeking on your Instagram, 6-time Muay Thai world champ, and I did say that on the commentary as well. Can you break down some titles for us? Like, what have you won? I don't know if you remember all 6, but
I think I have 8, but
update your stuff, sir.
I have I actually write them down because I forget, because I get punched in the face all the time.
Sure.
So,
and I'm sure that's a question fans want to know too, right? Like one of the things when they want to communicate with you.
Oh, totally. It's hard.
I always get how many subscribers, how many listeners.
Oh yeah,
I always get that.
Dude, I don't know.
I'm not really sure they care either.
Okay, I'm gonna rattle these all off really fast, just so we get it out of the way.
All right.
WK North American 63.5 kilo champion. WK North American 67 kilo champion. WK North American 72 kilo champion. TBA Classic 2022 champion, 142 pounds. Classic 2023 champion, 147 pounds. That's TBA as well. WK Muay Thai World Champion in 2024. Muay Thai Canada 71 kilo Canadian National Champion, and WK 67 kilos Unified Rules North American Champion.
Beauty. Yeah. What was your favorite one to win? Or which one at least stands out in your head?
The first time I went to TBAs for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, that tournament is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. It changed my life, man. It was it was awesome, you know, to go out there and fight multiple times, you
Yeah.
know, in a couple days. Like, oh, dude, it was nuts. And to be surrounded by fighters and, you know, warming up next to the guy you're going to go fight. It's, and it's crazy because how many fights there are. There's like, I think 1,200 fighters that are registered, 1,200, 1,500 fighters that register for that tournament.
Yeah.
And just in the back room, seeing the, you know, like the glory and agony that happen dude, it is eye opening. You just see it happen all day long for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, when am I going to fight? I'm freaking out, you know,
How
like
people warm up different.
Oh yeah. It's wild, you know, and, you know, coming back from losing and winning and especially getting all the way to championship day, championship day is its own thing on its own.
Yeah.
It's, you got to weigh in again and it's, all day people just, you know, going out to fight for the belt and it's just the craziest fights.
Crowds are crazy.
Oh,
you're depleted, beat up.
Oh, these guys have like some guys, you know, in those very, very common weight class, brackets that are like, you know, C class or B class, their brackets are huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So some of those guys fought like 8 times to get to the champ. Yeah, dude, it was ridiculous. I was like, holy crap, dude, 8 times in like 3 days.
You win.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, oh my gosh, dude. Like it was wild. So that one was probably a big one for me. It was also my first belt that I won. So to go out there and, you know, I didn't even know what the tournament really was about. You know, I just saw that there was a tournament. I was like, I want to go do it.
Keep hearing about it.
Yeah. So I was like, let's go do it. And we just went out there and, you know, I won and it was just like, I was like, I can't even believe I did this. Like just the whole process and everything. It was wild.
Nice.
It was so wild.
You know, so Chris McMillan went with Team Smet. It's just kind of last minute, same thing. Like, fuck it, I'm going to go do it. Like,
yeah.
All right, off you go. And when he came back, I'm like, how do you break that down? What would you say about it? And I thought once he said this, I kind of was like, huh. And then once I went, I totally understood. And he's like, you're going to see a lot of people who look like they're in A class, in C class, and a lot of people who look like C class or in A class.
Yeah, that's true.
And everything in between.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, really?
You see every world of fighting there.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me as a fight fan, like I'd always kind of, yay team, yay. And then I kind of Irish goodbye and piss off and go sit down. And if I don't like fight number 1 is boring, I'm going to watch fight 2 or 3.
Yeah. Or 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's wild.
Just sit there all day.
Oh, I know. I got stuck there a couple of times where I would like sit down and I would just be like in awe because you're watching fight 1 happen, fight 2 happen, 3 and 4, and you're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's just constant action and it's wild.
And then by the sort of second day, you start like, oh yeah, I remember saw that guy yesterday. And like, oh yeah, I saw that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun, man. What a weekend.
It's so cool. It's one of the, like, honestly, if you're a new fighter or even, you know, an A-class fighter and you want something to go do that. Especially in North America. It's in Iowa. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? I think everybody should go do it.
Yeah. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. All right, man. Let's get into your fight, sir. So you were the semi-main event, Canada versus Australia at the Muay Thai World Cup. You were fighting Jerome Simbahan from Australia.
Yes.
From Muay U. What did you know about Jerome going into this fight?
I knew about, you know, his gym, right? And I watched a couple of his fights on YouTube.
Okay.
From what Kieran sent me, you know, so I had his name and so I just kind of, you know, everybody does it, just Google the guy.
Take a peek.
You know, so took a peek. And that's kind of all I knew was whatever was on the internet. So
what stood out? Doing your little bit of homework, what are some things you noticed?
So right away, I go to YouTube right away when I search people. I never really go to Instagram or social media or anything like that because it's, you know, it's like highlights.
Yeah.
Right? It's just their best stuff.
That's
so it's like I don't want to see your best stuff. I want to see all of it. You
right.
know, I got to see how you fight raw. Right.
Yep.
So went to YouTube and just kind of went around and watched some of his fights and right away I noticed, okay, well, he's a southpaw, so easy one to
I'm glad you know
train for. Yeah, easy one to train for, right? So it's and for me, for some reason, I attract southpaws all the time. I'm always fighting southpaws.
Is that right, eh?
Always, all the time, yeah. So
not new territory for you.
No, it's actually preferred because I'm just like, oh, I'm always getting ready for southpaws, so like this is good. You know, like my next guy that I'm fighting also a southpaw, so it's just
that's good.
Yeah, it's perfect. So right away I noticed that he was pretty hand heavy off of first look from his fights. He had really good boxing, and I was kind of like, I was kind of surprised because he's from Australia, and I know Australia is huge in Muay Thai. It's like Thailand's right there, right? So I was expecting somebody who's gonna just be a really good clincher and kneeing, and he was actually really good with his hands. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then watching him more, noticed that he's very, very powerful hitter when with the guys that he was fighting. He looked very, very strong in his boxing. He had little tricks that he liked to do off of his left kick. His left kick was money. So he would throw his left kick, and he had really cool setups. He would step through, throw an elbow, step through, throw some punches. He had really good sneaky setups with that left kick. I saw that he had a good clinch too. There was this one fight I was watching and tied up with this guy, and he had a really good tie over the top. So if they got full plumb, he always would tie like this.
Yeah.
And it was very strong. Watching his fights, very, very strong, very good clinch, good posture. He looked very, very strong. So
he does, man. Chest, shoulders, back.
Oh, dude, yeah, the dude's jacked. Yeah. So yeah, I was expecting, a guy to come out and try and clinch me, and be strong and try and come forward a lot, So that's off of what I watched. That's kind of what I was expecting. Great left kick, obviously from southpaw.
Yeah.
So it's kind of must. That's expected. And yeah, so that's kind of what I was getting ready for, was really pressure, a guy to come forward a lot, a guy to punch really hard, a guy to kick really hard, and a guy to want to clinch me. So
guy with good Muay Thai.
Yeah. What else, right? And I know he was coming from a great gym, like Muay Yu's world class. Like watching their other fighters and being a fan of their fighters was kind of a shock when I got the fight offer. I was kind of like, oh, damn. Like I was like, this is a big one. I was like, oh my God, like way to just throw me to the wolves, So I was like, all right, cool, like let's do it.
Nice.
I was pretty stoked. But yeah, like I knew his corner was gonna try and pick me apart. And so with this camp I kind of did things a little bit different, where I looked at myself a lot too. I didn't just look at my opponent and be like, hey, this is what he's gonna do. I also looked like, okay, like what are his coaches looking for here? Like what are they seeing?
And what did you see in saying that then? Where would you pick you apart?
For me, like I said, was the clinch. I knew that he was going to try and come and clinch me, because
I think that's safe to say about anyone in North America.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, no, totally. And but for me specifically, that was a big hole I saw. And also, my defense a little bit. I was like, okay, I want to tighten up my defense, just because he looked like he hit really, really hard. So I was like, okay, I got to tighten that up a little bit.
Now I know I'm sure I mentioned it commentating, but does part of your tightening up your defense have to do with just not getting into brawls?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
100%. And also that's also a big one is, when I go and fight, I used to, like this fight really taught me, from fighting a guy that was way higher level than I'm used to. I used to go out and fight off like adrenaline purely, just go out and scrap, and get into firefights and just go for it, and so this fight really taught me how to, control that and be patient and have, patience and be calculated and pick your shots and, not blow your load when you see the knockout coming, right? So
right. And by the way, this is a compliment to your gym. It's not a criticism at all. And not that they fight off adrenaline, but every gym sort of has a little bit of its key things. But I would say that one of Airdrie's is from round one, there's going to be a fight.
Oh yeah.
We're not dancing. We're fighting.
No, 100%. And, we've always been that way, like it's just, our cardio is crazy. We can go all day long, just the way that we train. We can,
So if you can push it from 1 to 5, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. And so, and we've done that to everybody. We break guys doing that, our pressure, our cardio, our strength. It's just, it's relentless, right? So, but also there's, time and place, right? There's time and place.
Especially at the professional level.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that was the one thing that I really worked on this time, was being very, very controlling my attacks, not just going off of, emotion, like, oh, I got to hit him, I got to go forward, it's be very controlled, be patient, the shots will come, I will land them, I see the openings, I have the skills. It doesn't need to be go, go, go.
Was
the
5-round
fight? So
okay, that was my question. The fact that it was 5-3s, was that another reason to like, hey, let's relax a little bit?
No, totally.
Yeah.
Well, because it was 5-3s, and so even 3-3s changed from the amateur level to the professional level. The timing, it changes the pace of the fight a little bit, right? And so with this, we had an actually 2 rounds on top of that, so even more time to work, right? So that was a big thing me and my teammate Mo were working on when we were hitting pads, when we were training, when we were doing anything. We were very, very aware of the time that we had, right? And we're like, okay, let's really set things up and, pick this guy apart instead of just, we don't need to sprint. It's not a sprint, right? Like, let's set things up be patient, find the openings, find the holes, and just exploit them fully. So
nice. Okay, so besides the things that you were coaching against yourself, what were some things that you noticed that these are the things that we're going now? This is what I'm going to punish you with.
So the biggest thing right away that we saw is he had a crazy lead hook. Right, we knew he wanted this lead hook. He threw it.
I feel like that's also a southpaw must.
It is 100%, 100%. So we knew that he liked it, right? Because he threw it a lot in his fights. So we knew it was coming. So we were trying to find an opening off of that. So that was a big game plan that we had, was using that hook and making him miss and countering with it. So I think the big thing that I caught him with was a kick punch as he missed one of those. And
that's when you wobbled him?
I'm not sure if I wobbled him,
right.
but it landed one time because we were trying to draw the hook out and catch him in the body when he was throwing that big hook, right? So we were trying to touch his legs a lot. We were trying to start on our lead side and make sure that he doesn't take the angle, right? So because that's what that hook does, right? Is take that angle. So we were trying to make sure that he doesn't,
and then opens up the left kick.
Yeah, exactly. So when you fight a southpaw, open stance, right? So you guys are both have the same angle. It's like fighting a mirror. When that lead hook goes, take that little step. You have your power lined up all day long, right? So we, as fighting a southpaw, you don't want to lose that battle, right? If you lose that battle, you're probably going to lose the fight, right? So that's basically a huge part of fighting southpaw is that battle, that angle, of that angle, right? And you can move the other way, obviously, and play with things and stuff, but that's a giant advantage, is that angle. And whoever's kind of better at controlling that is usually
controlling the fight.
Yeah, it's usually the guy controlling the fight, right? So we saw that he was really good at that with that lead hook and stuff. So we were really trying to neutralize that with choking it out. We drilled lots, choking it out, going for a knee right away, choking it out with my own right hand as he comes in for it, making him miss, hitting him in the body, hitting his legs as he's throwing it. So we drilled a lot of stuff like that before that one.
Nice. Okay, so take us to the fight. Take us to the weigh-in. Anything you notice at the weigh-in? I don't know why, but in my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, you can help me. In my mind, you're always way bigger than everybody. But like Dan's a pretty big guy, right?
Oh yeah, Dan's a big dude.
Yeah, I don't know why I think that, but anyway, at least it looked to me from what I saw at the weigh-ins, you guys were similar size-ish. Were you getting that feeling?
Oh yeah. And like when you fight, it's hard for me to say, because anytime I fight somebody, I'm instantly comparing them and exaggerating all their traits because I'm fighting a guy, right? So
I do that as a coach, man.
Yeah. So like when I go to weigh-ins, I try not to think about it too much, because you do exaggerate things in your head. Like when I first saw him, like I can tell you right away, the first thing I was like, dude, this guy's back is huge.
Yeah, man.
I was like, what the hell? So and his chest, I was like, dude, this guy's huge, man. What the hell is going on? But then when I stood in front of him, different story, right? Like so from seeing him from across the room, you're kind of like, holy crap. And then when you stand in front of him, you're like, oh no, okay, he's like my size,
Right.
So but yeah, at the weigh-ins, I did get like, right away, he was sitting there and didn't really say anything to me, and whatever, it's just weigh-ins. We weigh in, and I did notice, like, I was trying to face off with him, and I did notice he was kind of scattered. He was kind of like looking all over the place, and for me, when I fight and for weigh-ins, I like to, like, let's stare down, man.
Sure.
We're about to do this, like I want to feel it.
It's nice on the camera.
Yeah, well, like, and it's good for the fight, like to like stand there in front of each other and be like, hey, dude, like we're gonna do this, man.
So raising.
Yeah. So I like to feel it, and I like to hold that energy for a second and really be in that moment, and give my energy to them too, really stare them down and stare through them and show them like, hey, I'm coming for you, man.
Be ready. Let's go.
Let's go. So I like that part. It's a big part for me. I love it. So it gets me excited, gets me hyped. So I was really looking forward to do that. And when we went to stare down, he kind of just gave me like 2 seconds and looked away right away, and I was like, damn, like, come on, man, like let's do it. So that was kind of it was kind of odd for me, especially as a guy at that high level that's fought in lots. I was expecting more of a stare down, and he didn't give it to me, and I was like, yeah, maybe that's just the way he gets ready, like everybody's different, everybody fights different, so like maybe that's just him.
And why give you what you want? right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, and like that's what I mean. 'Cause
Yeah.
some guys just have their own ways of getting ready. Like
Yep.
you've seen it all the time, especially in high level. Like guys don't even look at each other, like won't even look at them during weigh-ins. Even like Jose Aldo was very famous for that. Like before the fight, he's not looking at you.
Yeah.
Until it's fight time, until it's like, okay, go. Now he's looking at you.
Sure.
Right. So everybody has their own way of
Yep.
doing it.
So how was your weight cut? Because I'm gonna be real. Now, listen. Of course, everybody gets sucked pretty dry. But when we did that Instagram live with you and Jerome, bro, those cheekbones were sticking out pretty good.
Yeah. I think it's just the way that I hold water, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I hold a lot of water in my face.
Sure. Okay.
Because everybody always says that.
That's my excuses as well.
Yeah, everybody always says that. They're always like, man, like you cut a lot of weight. I'm like, no, not really. Like it's the same,
Yeah.
So fight week, I started at like 157. So
Okay.
I dropped 10 pounds of water, which is pretty normal,
Yeah.
So nothing crazy,
ordinary.
and it was actually like the best weight cut I've had in a long time. There was no stress. I only cut like, I think before weigh-ins, I cut 2 pounds.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, like, and the day before, like, I started my cut like Thursday night, and I wasn't even going to because I like barely had any weight. I think I had like 5 pounds in total,
Wow.
and
Okay.
so I was like, should I bath tonight just to start it? And I was kind of like, maybe not. Maybe I'll just save it all for tomorrow, just because I don't like to be too dehydrated for too long.
Sure.
And
The shortest time as possible.
yeah, exactly. Like I like to be, on weight for like 10 seconds and then okay, back hydrated, because it affects performance the longer you're dehydrated, right? So,
Right.
and I hate affecting anything that affects my performance. I'm very like, I hate it. I'm like, I don't want anything to jeopardize my performance. So
good.
I'm very, very particular with the way that I do things now. Before I didn't know and I wouldn't care.
Sure.
I'd be like, oh, whatever. Like I'll be fine. I'll
Gotta
just
cut
eat.
15, 20, 11, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I used to fight like same day. Like I would cut like 15,
Mhm.
for same day weigh-ins. And like, I was just like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll drink some Gatorade and eat some fruit. I'll be okay.
Right.
I didn't really care, because
Sure.
I didn't know. Right. And then, you go through those fights and, you have a terrible performance. You're like, oh, that's why I don't do that,
Right.
So, now I'm very, very particular with the way that I do things, how long I want to be dehydrated for, when I'm going to cut, when I'm going to start. So, I was very like, I don't know if I should have a bath tonight, but I was like, oh, okay, I'll just start it because I don't want any stress tomorrow.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll just sit in the bath for a little bit. Barely sat in the bath, got out, and I think I dropped like 3 pounds. I was like, oh, what the hell? So I was like, that was crazy. So I was like, cool, and I didn't feel dehydrated at all.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, I went to bed, slept like a baby,
Yeah,
and
you get to let go of that anxiety.
yeah, slept like a baby, woke up, okay, I got 2 pounds, sat in the bath again, done. Okay, go to weigh-ins.
Yeah. If anything, it probably felt good to sit in the bath.
Oh yeah, it was. I was like relaxing, and I was like, oh, I should probably get out and check. And I checked. I was like, oh, I'm on weight. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was super lax. It was awesome.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's fight day, man. Tell us about how are you feeling just about, was there any nerves? Just you're the next fight, you're getting ready, you got the robe on, you're getting ready. Is there any uptick in adrenaline or a little bit of like, oh shit?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
of course, especially at that point, if we take it back to like the morning, when I wake up on fight day, usually there's a little bit, you wake up on fight day, you're like, oh crap, okay, I'm fighting today, you kind of, all right, I got to go do this today, but it was weird this time. Like I was even telling my dad, cause he was asking me, how are you feeling? You okay? I'm like, dude, it's actually weird because I am way too calm. I was like, I don't even feel like I'm fighting today. Like I woke up like it was another Saturday. And I was just hanging out.
Were you accepting that or was that concerning you?
At first, I was kind of like, why? I was kind of like, okay, wait a minute, I'm too calm, So I was almost like second guessing it.
Yeah.
But then I just wrote it. I was just like, no, like I've done this a million times. I'm like, I'm supposed to feel like it's supposed to feel normal by now. Like I've almost done this 40 times. So this should feel kind of normal by now. So I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. I just wrote it, enjoyed the day, stayed present in the moment. And then, we get to the venue and we're doing like medicals and stuff. And when we got there, kind of hanging out, waiting, they were running behind. So I was kind of just sitting around talking to, people that were fighting, like Reese Baxter. I was sitting there talking to him, Izzadine, talking to him, just guys that were hanging out. And then my fighter came over and I was like, oh, cool. So I went over and started talking to him, we were just kind of shooting the shit and hanging out. And it was actually a really cool moment, and telling me about where he lives. You know,
Mhm.
he's telling me he's never seen snowfall before. He's like, I
Nice.
got to see snowfall.
That's not
So,
first.
yo, and it was so cool, you know, like, and I love guys like that, you know, because that's the way I am. You know, I'm like,
Right.
this is a sport. We go and fight, but I'm like, we're cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like
We'll
there's
handle
no,
business in a few hours. Don't worry.
yeah. It's like there's nothing behind it. You know,
Yep.
there's no emotion or animosity behind anything. It's like this is just we signed a contract. This is what we got to do, right?
Yep.
And so it was. I love guys like that will sit there and like hang out with me and talk and be friendly. I love that.
Nice.
Like I just think that adds to the sport and
Sure.
shows how awesome Muay Thai is.
Yeah.
So I was having so much fun just hanging out and talking to him. Gave him a Canada shirt, and
Yeah.
you know it was a cool moment for me.
Nice.
I had so much fun doing that.
Nice, man.
And then so that like still not any nervous, you know, talking and hanging out with him. And then later, you know, we start staying in the back, and then it's kind of starting to set in. You're like, okay, I got to fight soon, you know, and like first fight starts going, you know, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. You're like, they start coming back. And I think that's when I start getting a little nervous is when the guys come back and they either won or they lost.
Right.
And you're like, all right, okay, yeah, I know this, you know, like you're like, okay, now I'm ready, you know, so it gets you kind of hyped, you know, and then, Muay Thai World Cup's really cool, and they did this promotional thing where they brought us out and did the national anthems.
Oh, yeah,
So we all stood in the ring, and that was actually so awesome because I got the coolest thing about that is for me, I felt very comfortable in front of the crowd already before the fight happened because I went out and I had to stand in front of the crowd and they're all looking at me and I'm like, what do I do right now?
Right.
You know, and I'm standing in front of them while the national anthem's going on. So that was very awesome because it got me super comfortable just being in the ring already
Right.
and being in front of a crowd. It was like there was no it didn't affect me. Usually like that like I think that's the hardest part for me as a fighter is like I gotta go out in front of a whole bunch of people and do something,
Mhm.
you know? And so to just get that out of the way first was like, oh dude, this is a joke now.
Yeah.
Like I gotta just go fight, you know, I
Nice.
don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So
Beauty.
so that was cool. And then yeah, warming up, I think that's when the nerves start really hitting is when I start, you know, getting my gloves on, cracking pads, moving around. And I'm starting to think about like, okay, like I gotta go do this. And you know, I think the biggest thing with fighting that really I think any fighter can relate to this is when you're in the back, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Right. So you don't know. You don't know if you're gonna get kicked in the head, get flatlined, man. Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't know. So you can control what you can,
Yeah.
right? But you really, at the end of the day, don't know what's going to happen. So I think that's the big thing that a lot of fighters have trouble dealing with
Sure.
is just not knowing, right?
Yeah.
And so with this fight, you know, that was a big thing that I was dealing with before is just not knowing the results. And um, I think in the back, I kind of just accepted like, you know, I've been here before, win, lose, draw. I've been through everything. I've been kicked in the face,
Sure.
knocked out. I've been
Been stopped others.
yeah, I've been through it all. So I was just, you know, like whatever happens is happening for a reason, you know, and I know myself and trust myself to get through whatever is going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
if he's punching me, clinching me, kicking me, I trust myself enough to get through it and push through it. And you know, I know myself enough that I'm not going to give up on myself out there. So I was more than ready, you know, and of course I'm nervous, but I was more than ready.
I think, well, I don't think I know. That little speech right there, that's what happens when you get experience. You can only say that when you have experience.
Yeah, totally.
You know, that purely comes from experience and nothing else. Yeah, and you know, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. What if I get starched or whatever? By the way, I remember one time I had a fight against this guy. We've had a lot, like 28 boxing fights, and everybody came, oh, okay, if I watch his hands, watch that. Fucking knocked out probably here. And Gary Vig was like, shout out to Gary Vig, a Raw Show, Alberta legend and a Raw Show head instructor, but he was in my corner and he's like, are you worried about getting knocked out? And I'm like, yeah, man, kinda. And he's like, it's not your choice, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, it's not your choice to get knocked out. It just happens. So stop thinking about it. It's not your choice. I'm like, fuck, that's pretty true, man.
Yeah.
Like, and immediately I let it go right there. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah, you can't control it. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Right? What you can control is what you're doing.
And
Keeping your hands up, you know, having
right.
good defense, you know, moving and, you know, capitalizing on opportunities you see, right? So as long as you're focused on what you're doing out there, right? You'll be fine.
And along with that, you know, doing some soul searching as an old man, the reality also is I get to choose how to respond to this whole thing. It's my choice.
Exactly. Right.
So stop.
Well, that
being a pussy chick.
well that's the thing too, is that, you know, everybody's so afraid of losing, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, dude, like go out and lose. Like I always I wish everybody who ever just started fighting, I wish their first like 3 fights they just lose.
Yeah.
Because then they'll get it out of the way and they're like, okay, like I've lost every time. And then they're not going to be worried about losing when they go out there. They're going to be worried about what they're doing.
Right.
Because they have to reflect on their performances. They have to reflect on what happened. And they'll be more worried about, okay, this time I'm going to go out and I'm going to be like this. I'm going to move like this. I'm going to keep my hands up. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm not going to hesitate this time. You know, whatever it is that you learn from those losses, you're going to be more worried about what you're doing instead of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And certainly not everybody, but let's be real. If you win your first 3, 4, 5 fights, it can become a problem now where you think you know more than the coach.
Yeah. No,
So
totally.
those
So
losses will bring you back down to listening, hopefully.
100%. Right. And like, that's a big point too, right? Is staying coachable, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can stay coachable, man, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of these guys, like, especially guys like that win their first couple, especially if they win by like knockout, that's the worst, right? If they go out there and they knock out their first like 2, 3 guys,
yeah,
it's over for that fighter. Like
start calling out Max Holloway.
Oh, dude, it's over for those guys because they just think they know something, right? And then, unfortunately, they end up getting that back, right? And they don't know how to take it, right? And that's the hard part, is not knowing how to respond. Like you said, when something like that happens, it's all about how you respond to it. If you respond poorly, you're not going to last in this sport, right?
No.
You have to be very, very okay with going out there and getting embarrassed in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like it's super, like I've had it happen multiple times where I go out and all I got was the walk. I go out and boom, fight's over in 10, 30 seconds, and then you're just like, damn, dude, like I went out there and just got destroyed fast.
Right.
And it sucks. And you have to think about it for a long time, it stays with you.
And on top of that, nobody cares except you.
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean,
you're
of course
like,
your parents care, but at the end of the day, they're like, oh, well, listen, look after yourself. I have to go to work and make sure you walk the dog. Nobody cares but you.
Well, yeah, even like your coaches and stuff, like they obviously care about like you doing well and stuff, but then they're just like, hey, like pick it up, let's go, let's get back to work.
Take a week off and I'll see you in a week.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's back to it, and you have to sit there with it and all the shame and all the embarrassment and like that's all
needless. Needless.
Yeah, that's all
to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So once you kind of, like you said, realize how to let go and just be like, whatever, it is what it is. If it happens, I know that I'm just going to get back to work anyways. Even if I go and knock him out, what's going to happen? I'm going to be right back in the gym anyways.
That's right.
So it's all about how you respond, right?
If you have any sort of fighting career in Muay Thai, you are going to lose. That's how this goes.
100%. But it's how you come back from it. And that's what makes, I think,
for life.
Yeah. And I think that's what the difference between champions and just average fighters, right? Is those guys that can take a loss and you know that they're coming back for you. They're like, oh, okay, like he lost, he's going to come back even better.
Yeah.
He's going to come back even stronger. His next performance is going to be even better, and you can see it. Like you'll see those guys, they'll go through a loss and they come back and you're just like, damn, that's a different guy. Like that is a completely different fighter.
That loss had to happen for him.
But then you see other fighters where they have a loss and then they have another one and then another one and then another one. And you notice their game hasn't changed at all. And it almost looks like they're getting worse because they're getting more in their head. They're more worried about losing again, and it's like.
And if you're not learning and adapting now, if you've seen them quite a few times, like the local circuit understands how to beat you a little bit better. Like, you got to keep evolving for sure.
100. Well, that's the whole thing in Muay Thai martial arts is
life.
Yeah, evolve. That's the whole point of life,
That's
right?
it.
Evolve,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so, even when you win, you got to evolve, right? Like you got to look at yourself and I think that's the one big thing that's super cool about fighting is that it makes you do that. Right. In any other sport, like, I don't know, like I didn't really do any other sports, so I can't really say, but with Muay Thai, it makes you, because if you're not, you'll lose a fight and then you have to, right? Or, you'll go to the gym one day and just get dominated by somebody, just get dropped, getting kicked in the face, or, you're tired on the pads or whatever. You're feeling it physically where you have to, where you're like, okay, I got to see what I'm doing here,
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And I was just having this talk last week with like my kids and stuff. Like, it's okay to be tired. It's okay to like have it be hard. It's okay to even not be able to do it. Like that's the reason we come here.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to work hard. It's okay to sweat, be tired, hands on your knees. I can't do 100 sit-ups in 2 minutes. I try. Like, it's the whole point of this thing, like learn that I know you're tired and sometimes we give up. We shouldn't, but I'm talking about recreational people. that's the whole thing, realizing that you can go so much further than you think.
Yeah, it's building that mind, right?
Yeah.
It's going to those limits where you push
So
your
much more
body.
capable than you realize.
Oh, dude, it's insane,
Yeah.
right? And once you push your body to those limits and you push a little bit past them, and you get that like, oh my gosh, I pushed a little bit
It's a
past
new
what.
boundary.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I didn't think I could do that, and I did it, and then you just keep doing that, and if you can force yourself to try and do that all the time, you'll look back and you'll just be like, dude, look where I came from. Like, that's great.
Right.
You know, and especially in your mindset, like, and I think that's where it all comes from is what you're telling yourself when these things are happening, you know, because everybody goes through uncomfortable situations, but if you're going through an uncomfortable situation, you're telling yourself negative things, it's going to feel 10 times worse than it actually is. But if you're telling yourself positive things or, you know, reaffirming to yourself, like, oh, I got this. It's all good. I can move through this. You know, I'm good. I got this. Anything happens to me, I can go through it. I can accomplish it. It'll make it way better, right?
Yeah, and especially through martial arts, and whether you're a fighter or just recreational member. But Muay Thai, this is hard, man. This is a hard life to live. This is a hard sport. This is a hard recreation.
Muay Thai is pain.
Oh, buddy. And the reality is, if you can, like you just said, like, look at where I've come from. It's like, well, if I can do that in Muay Thai, what else can I do? Because this is so hard. If you can do this, you can learn to draw, you can learn to drive a car. This is fucking hard.
Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. Like I try and tell the kids that too. Like at the gym, who I'm teaching, I'm like, man, if you can go through this and voluntarily put yourself through these hard things and push yourself and try and, you know, get better at this, I'm like, school is easy. You
Yeah.
know, school is easy.
Yeah.
Life is easy.
Agreed.
You know, you won't have to go through anything. You're gonna be like, man, I go through harder stuff at the gym, you know,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so
Exactly. Yeah, there you go, man. And for the nerds out there, martial arts nerds, I always tell my students, like, maybe you don't want to be a fighter. Martial arts is the pursuit of perfection, knowing that you're never going to get there.
yeah, 100%.
You know, you're never going to get there, and I like that idea too.
Yeah,
I'm just never going to give up.
Yeah, well, and that's the big thing is knowing, you know, I'm just not going to give up, right? Like that's one thing I pride myself on a lot is that no matter what happens, you know, I'm not going to give up on myself. You know,
Yeah.
if I fight and I go down, it's I had to go down. You know, like there's things that happen in life that you will feel that are uncomfortable, and you're going to be like, I don't want to do this, but you know, you'll push through, and I think that's what Muay Thai gives you is that don't quit, right? Like, and it's just, I've been doing this a long time, and it's just the way I live my life is just don't give up, no matter what's going on, what's happening. You know, I don't care what it is. I'm gonna keep coming. You know, you're gonna have to put me in the ground, man, to stop me. So
There you go. Preach, man. It's a good chat, man. I'm talking about philosophy and shit.
I love it. I
barely
love
talk about the fight, bro.
I love talks like this.
Me too. This is my whole life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get to this fight here, man. Round one. Give me the first minute, the first minute of the fight. What were you noticing? What were you feeling?
Dude, I was scared. Okay.
Yeah.
He was solid, man. Like, standing in front of him was, it was an honor, you know, like just to be in front of, you know, a guy at that level, you know what I mean? It was, especially coming from his gym, you know, and just having like Kieran yell at him in the corner.
You can hear it.
Yeah, dude, like being in that moment was just like, I was like, dude, like I'm actually living my dream right now. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm like,
so happy to be here.
I know, I'm like pinching myself. I'm like, no way this is going on right now. You know, it's cool when your dreams kind of just turn into reality. Like it just syncs up. I was just like, this is awesome.
Nice.
So moving around with him was so cool. The first round, you know, he was hitting me hard. He was throwing lots of left kicks.
Yeah.
And I was blocking them. I was moving around. I was really just trying to draw out what he was going to do, you know, because like I said, we prepared for certain things, but on that night, you know, that fighter who's showing up is different because he's gone through a camp doing stuff that he's trying to do to me.
Right.
I'm doing stuff that I'm trying to do to him.
Not necessarily following your script.
Yeah. And then, you know, you end up at the fight and you've been working on things and evolving that you're a different fighter than you were your last fight, right? So when you show up that night, it's kind of whoever shows up that night, you got to kind of adapt, you know? So right away, you know, the first round, we have time. I have 5 rounds. So I'm like, okay, like, let me just poke around and see what he's trying to do here. You know, like, just kind of draw out what he wants, you know? So, cause I'm very adaptable. I can kind of fight any style I want, you know, I'm pretty adaptable that way. I've been fighting since I was a kid. So
Right.
whoever I'm fighting, I'm pretty good at like I'll figure it out.
Sure.
So
Seen all styles. As
yeah,
a kid
yeah,
growing up
yeah,
from adult to a pro. Yeah.
yeah. Like I've anything that he kind of does, I've seen it. Like
Right.
I've been hit with it, so it's I'm not worried about it. I just want to know what it is, like
Right.
so I can counter it. Right. So a lot of what I was doing was throwing my jab out, throwing my teep, throwing some low kicks, just probing strikes, just to get him to kind of come forward at me, counter, see what
Right.
he's doing too.
Are the weapons I'm suspecting actually coming?
Yeah, yeah. Like, okay, is that what he's really looking for? What does he see? What's he doing?
Yeah.
So I was kind of just poking around and I noticed he's throwing his left kick a lot in my arms. So right away I kind of made that read where I was like, okay, he's trying to take my punches away for sure. So that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence, that he started kicking the arms right away. I'm like, okay, he's afraid of punches. He doesn't
Right.
want to get hit. So that was kind of a confidence boost a little bit. When we were moving around in the first round, I felt really good off of the first round. Like when it ended, I was like, like he hit me and I'm like, I didn't really feel any crazy power. I'm like, his kick is good. Like I gotta block it for sure.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to eat that one. But it wasn't I didn't really feel too phased by anything where I was like, whoa, because going into the fight, coming from a crazy gym, he's got more pro fights than me,
Yeah.
fought in high level guys,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like this level might be different, it might
Right.
feel a lot different, so going in the first round, I'm kind of like, where do I stack up,
Sure.
kind of,
Yeah.
so after the first round, I was like, okay, like I can hang, I'm like, I'm supposed to be here, like this is a great first round, I felt really good blocking lots of his stuff. I was like, yeah, okay, like, I'm good. And then round two, come out and he came out way harder in round two.
Mhm.
His coach made adjustments and was like, all right, I see something. Let's take advantage of it. So, and he started pressuring forward, so round two was fun. It was fun because
Sure.
we started scrapping,
So what were you feeling then? Like
his pressure, he started coming forward a lot more.
and like this, you pick this up right now. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. So like, I kind of felt like he started walking forward a little bit more. He was doing like that elephant walk, bringing his knees up,
Mhm.
kind of trying to take my space. And I heard his corner yelling it too, like, take his space away, take his space away. So I knew they were trying to get in tight. So I was like, clocked it. I'm thinking, okay, he's trying to clinch me, right? So, and he was throwing a really nice teep. Like that teep was annoying to deal
Sure,
with.
man.
Yeah, it was annoying. He had a great teep from the left side.
Yep.
And he set it up really well. He was throwing kicks in my arms. So I'd block with my arms a lot. And then he'd make it look the same. So I'd go to block with my arms, but he would hide it.
Right.
And so he made it look like it was going to be the kick, but then he's throwing
Change
the
the
teep.
angle.
Yeah, because he knew I was blocking with my arms. So that little opening, he just took advantage of. So that was really cool on him. I've been actually drilling that at the
Nice.
gym lately because I was like, that was a dope one, So yeah, that was good. And I was having trouble dealing with that. I was trying to in the moment trying to figure out like, okay, like how do I take this away? I'm like, I gotta stop this,
Mhm.
because he's staying on it consistently. And like when you get hit with a weapon and then your opponent just zeroes in on it, if you don't take it away, they're just gonna keep throwing it,
Of course.
keep throwing
Yeah.
it, right? And they're gonna get more aggressive.
And was it painful or was it just stopping you from entering?
No, it was just stopping me from
Yeah.
entering. And like it was strong.
Sure, definitely.
But I did like I had a lot of body conditioning and like I wasn't really feeling it. And the way that he was landing it was closer to my hip.
Okay.
It wasn't really hitting me in the stomach. I did notice in the third round I was getting a little bit more tired.
Okay.
So like they were adding up for sure, but I wasn't it wasn't like it was painful. It was just like clocking, like I got to do something about this before
Consistent landing shot.
yeah, before it turns into something painful, before it adds up, right? Because they do add up, right? And especially
And then when you notice it's too late.
exactly, right? So right away when he landed like I think 2 or 3 in a row, and I was like, all right, we got to do something about this,
Yeah.
right? So, and that was round 2.
So finish off round 2 then. How were you feeling at the end of that?
So after the end of round 2, I was like, okay, like it's gonna start picking up now because I felt like we were pretty even, right? So first round, nothing really happened. We were both kind of feeling each other out. Round 2, he came out and he started pressuring forward and he was landing that teep. But I was also landing my own strikes too. I was landing lots of good hands. My composure was good. I was still moving forward. I put him on the ropes a couple times, landed good strikes. I think we clinched up in round 2 and he tried to knee me and I like fell through the ropes. So I was like, okay, he's probably got confidence in the clinch. So I'm like, I felt like we were kind of like close, right? I was like, okay, I'm like, maybe he edged it out, because he always like if it's close, I was just like, okay, he's winning.
Sure, I agree.
Just in,
Just in case.
just in case. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to give yourself the bias, especially fighting. You want to always dominate the whole thing, right? So,
same way.
so going into the second round, I was like, okay, it's close. So I just assume that he's up, right? So then round 3 comes out, and right away my coaches were telling me like, off the teep. They're like, just use your hands, right? They're like, just counter with hands right away, like because he's stopping you, then go in because he's gonna be done, right? Like he's in the middle of doing something, just go, just counter.
Okay.
I was like, okay, and right off of round 3, he threw the teep right away. And I brushed it through a hook cross, and it rocked him right away. So I was like, yeah, coach.
Is that when you had wobbly legs there?
Yeah, it was like right away, 3rd round. So I landed that, and I was like, yeah, my coaches were right. I'm glad I listened to you. Yeah, I was like, wicked. I'm glad I listened, So, and then, I kind of got a little bit too excited, and I kind of like went for it. And I mean, you get caught in the moment, especially in a moment like that. It's my pro debut, guy from Australia. He's clearly hurt. I was kind of like, oh, finish him, but I had to kind of like relax, let it come, because I knew, okay, we rocked him, got him hurt. It's going to come, relax. And I heard his corner yelling for elbows. He was visibly trying to elbow me. So I kind of clocked that too, where I was like, okay, he's trying to counter my punches with elbows, which is awesome. That's what I would do too. So, and as a pro, you're not wearing any elbow pads and stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to get cut, because that's a giant thing too. If I get cut and it's over my eye, fight can be stopped. So, I had to be a little bit cautious of that too. And so, I kind of slowed it down a little bit, and I was trying to draw it out more, trying to draw, and counter and just be sharp. I was really trying to just be sharp and consistent with my strikes and make sure that I was landing, everything clean. I didn't want to, like look messy. I didn't want to just brawl it out. Right. I wanted to make sure that like when I'm landing, when I'm landing, it's clean, it's sharp, it's calculated, it's not me just going on the heavy bag, right. So
emotional adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to fight off adrenaline at all. I want to be calculated in what I'm doing and make sure that when I'm landing, it's effective, like very, very effective. So, kind of dialed it back a little bit, tried to draw out some strikes, caught him with a couple elbows of my own. We tied up. I landed a knee, and I think that was actually kind of what started the finish was, I landed this left round knee, to the body when we tied up. And he was landing his own knees too, and I pressured him onto the ropes, and I heard his breathing change when I hit him, right? So I hit him in the middle of the ring, boom, and then he kind of kneed me a couple of times, and I pressured him on the ropes, and he was tight, and I heard his breathing change. It got erratic, and I was like, oh, okay, and before he was very calm,
right? And
then I kneed him, and then I heard his breathing change. I was like, oh, I'm like, okay, he's tired now. I'm like, that hurt. Something hurt him,
right?
He got. His heart rate went up, so I was like, okay, I think that knee hurt him, so, then right away we kind of break up, and, he's throwing this teep at me again. And, so I was kind of trying to adjust on the fly, and I was like, okay, why am I standing in front of him trying to counter this teep? I'm like, I'm going to try and move my feet a little bit, just kind of control the distance a little bit more. Cause I felt like I was better at that than he was, like controlling the distance. So I was like, okay, maybe if I just step out, step in, and control the distance a little more, and he'll have trouble, landing that teep. And I felt like it was kind of working. I started moving my feet, and he was kind of like, shit, like, where are you going? He was kind of like,
second guess when to throw.
Yeah, he was kind of like, what is going on? And then I started throwing my own teeps of my own. And then I faked one and threw a left knee, and he dropped.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, so I threw a rear teep at him because I was like moving my feet, and he was just, if you notice, if you watch that 3rd round, I was kind of circling around, and he was like doubling down on trying to chase me. Okay. Right. He was like following me pretty heavy. Like he was trying to stay right in front of me. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, cool. Yeah, come. I was like, follow. And I threw a teep to kind of like reset the range. And then I faked it, and he froze. And then I threw that knee, and he dropped.
Yeah,
right? And I didn't even see really like, that his body was hurt. It was just, I kind of noticed with the breathing change. Right. And I was kind of like, I think his body's hurt. So I just kind of was like, let's test it, and he dropped it. And I was kind of like shook at first. I was like, oh, damn, he went down, because like, I didn't even think like I threw that knee that hard. I just like stepped in and threw it, and he went down. I was kind of like, oh, what the hell is going on? I even looked in my corner, like, what the fuck? Like, he went down. So then I went to the corner. I didn't think he was going to get up the way that he was reacting, right? Because he was like in pain.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'm like, this might be in the bag, and then he got up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to just hit him again. I was like, same spot, So, I have this little trick that I do it at the gym all the time, is, just my left kick. Like my left kick is money. I throw it on everybody. I land it on everybody. And, so I was just like, okay, I'm going to fake it, make it look like I'm going to do that knee again. I know he's going to step away, and I'm just going to let my kick go. And it worked.
Nice.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure by then we were all confident, man. He was in some pain,
Yeah.
just having trouble getting any win. But man, the way you broke that down, from what you just talked about, fighting on adrenaline and emotion, you described like completely being present there between hearing him breathe, hearing the corner, hearing your corner, noticing what's happening round two. He's kicking my arms. Uh, how do you go? What happened? How did you go from not being that to being that? Like, and I'm sure if you watched the replay, me and Kyle were noticing that like just even your eyes were on point, man. There was no blinking. There was no like complete laser focused. What happened? Where did that guy come from in like literally 1 to 2 fights?
So
Maybe longer, but from what I see.
so like it happened, I went to fight in Mexico like last year in June.
Okay.
And I had a hard fight in Mexico. This guy from Mexico beat the crap out of me for like 5 rounds.
Okay.
And I kicked him in the head like the last round in the last like 30 seconds and knocked him out.
Okay.
And
Nice.
yeah, and I hated my performance. I
Yeah.
hated it because the performance, the guy came out and he knew exactly what I was going to do, try and punch, right? And so he was elbowing me, kneeing me, clinching me, controlling the range. He was taller than me. And I was like, honestly, holding myself to a high standard. I was like, dude, I'm way better than this guy. Like, how is he doing this to me? And I got very emotional while I was fighting.
Gotcha.
And I got very like angry at myself. I was, thinking about the wrong things. I wasn't focused on what was going on. And also going into the fight, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna, I'm way stronger than this guy. I'm gonna go out and just knock him out, And then when that didn't happen, I got angry and I got pissed off and I got frustrated and I'm thinking about the wrong things. I'm thinking about like, I'm way stronger than this guy. How's this guy not on the ground right now? Like, I'm not thinking about fighting. I'm thinking about other things that aren't important in the moment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not thinking about what he's doing and how to counter. I'm not thinking about the fight at all. My brain is somewhere else. It's in this la la land of emotions and bullshit, right? So luckily, I was still aware enough fighting where I saw a read and I was like, oh, his hands down, just kick him in the face, and then boom, fight was over.
The fight game.
Yeah. So but like I 100% got lucky because the clacker went off and it was round 5.
Wow.
The clacker went off. He punched me. I hit the ropes. I created an angle because he rocked me with a punch, and then I just threw my left kick. Fight was over.
Nice.
Because he got horny trying to knock me out.
Right.
And then I kick him and I was like, oh, okay, I got him. But
thank you, Muay Thai gods.
Thank you. Yeah, right. I was like, thank you. But also, when that happened, everybody that I'm talking to after the fight, oh, that was awesome, blah, blah, blah. You're like, that was crazy, so good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, that fight sucked. Everybody's giving me, you knocked him out, you kicked him in the face. That was the craziest thing. Like,
but I lost the entire fight.
That's where my head is
right.
I'm like, dude, that performance was ass. I'm like, that was awful. And it was replaying all the time. And even back at the gym, my coach, is giving me accolades. Oh, we went out to Mexico. He did so awesome. He knocked his guy out. And every time he said that, I'm like flinching and cringing. Like, dude, like, let's not talk about that fight right now. I'm like, I hated that, and from that point, I really changed the way that I thought about what I'm doing, like very intentional with what I'm doing, instead of just being like, oh, I'm just going to go out there and fight the guy. I'm very like, no, I need to really think about what I'm doing and control what I'm doing while I'm in there too. Not just let, if I rock them, not just go for it. I had to the loss that I took from that performance changed me in the way that I show up just training with my nutrition, everyday life, the way that I'm thinking. It gave me a lot of awareness about, just being in control of what I'm thinking while things are going on, while bad things are happening, because like you understand like those things happen and everybody has it, but there's levels to it, right? Like there's levels to, controlling your emotions. There's levels to being calm in chaos. And so just having that awareness from that fight deepen, I think it just changed my game.
That fight made you shed a skin, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because now with everything that I do is very, very intentional. And I try not to, let anything, affect what's going on in front of me. And that's why in that fight, watching the way that I'm composed, the way that I'm moving, the way that I'm just thinking while I'm fighting is all from, from that camp on, because after that fight, I also had an MMA fight after that,
Right, that's right.
in like September. And the fight was like 30 seconds and I got submitted because like I got negative jiu-jitsu. But
Sure.
anyways, from just the training camp on from that fight, I went through more training camps than I have fights in the last like couple years. I was scheduled to fight on Muay Thai World Cup multiple times. And the fights just never ended up actually happening. Like
Right.
I had guys pull out on me, guys say yes, and then all of a sudden, oh, we have to change the opponent. You can't do it anymore. And so just going through, relentless camps from like probably July until, November. And I was just in camp the whole time.
Right.
And, it just made my game level up like crazy because my training got more intentional. Everything just got way more dialed in. And I was working on all those things behind the scenes, right? So all the solo sessions that I did on my own really changed the way that I think about things and the way that I look at fighting and the way I control, how I fight. Because those sessions with the team and everything are super valuable, right? But there's something about those solo sessions that really, really matter.
Agreed.
And I think everybody should really, have one session that they do that is a solo session where you really gotta fight yourself, to train.
No one's there to yell at you.
Yeah, and to really break yourself down on your own, because once you can kind of do that, like, man, you will get crazy powers. I swear, like it's insane what you can change just by being honest with yourself and looking yourself in the mirror and being like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. I gotta work on all these. And then to make a plan and be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for all that, and then go and execute it on your own without anybody telling you to do that.
Well, that's being a professional.
No, totally.
Well, here's what I can tell you, man, that from what I know of you, seen of you, commentated, all that good stuff, that fight was fucking unreal performance from you, man. That was fucking unbelievable.
Thank you.
I'm not saying I didn't I didn't think you could be that guy. I just didn't think you could do it what seems to me like overnight, man. That was impressive.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody expected that from me.
Did you?
I expected that from myself. 100%. 100%. I joke and always say like, oh, I thought I was gonna kick him in the head, but I honestly, what I expected was a 5-round war of me coming out on top. That was my expectation for sure. It was a 5-round war, and him being as solid as he was, and me taking the win by decision. So that's what I expected of myself, and I blew my own expectations, which is very fantastic.
I think everyone's, man. No offense, I'm not saying
no, and
you're a different guy in there.
I agree. I agree 100%, and it's all those solo sessions, working on myself. Those things that are in the dark that nobody sees. Those are the things that really, really paid off.
The amount of growing you can do with just a little bit of self-awareness.
A little bit, yeah. And, like just keeping yourself accountable and holding yourself to a high standard. I think that's the biggest thing is, set a standard for yourself and make sure you hold it, like don't let yourself go below it, and, people slip, people are human, but there's also, you can hold yourself to higher standards than you think, and when you do that, you make magical things happen.
Yeah. Well, and as you keep climbing up the ranks, like yourself, sir, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Or you're going back down.
Yeah, exactly. And like, for me, this is what I want to do. This is something I've been passionate about since I was a kid, and I've always taken it so seriously. Like even when I was a kid, like just doing tournaments and stuff, it was like nothing else mattered other than like, I got to go get this trophy at Mike Miles tournament, like that was the only thing that mattered to me,
Nice.
And nothing's changed, my whole life. Everything that I do, whether it's eating, whether it's, journaling, whether it's going for a run, whether it's teaching people, inspiring other people, is all around me fighting, and it's like, this is what I do. This is my whole life. The way I think, the way I talk to people, the way I show up, it's all surrounded by me fighting. It's just my whole embodiment as a person,
nice,
as a human being. It's my lifestyle. It's what I do.
Love
Yeah.
Good, man. Well said. What's next? You got anything lined up?
Yeah, I have a fight in Chicago.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, May 9th.
Oh nice.
Yeah. So I'm fighting Jeremy Gold.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good fight. He's from from America. I watched a couple of his fights. Southpaw again, so good for me. I love Southpaw. So it should be a good fight. He's very aggressive. Comes forward. He's pretty wild. So it'll be a very exciting fight. It's only 3-3s this time, so it'll be super exciting from start to finish. Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice. All right, man. I won't take too much of your time, but listen, I got some questions for you.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, you got a book.
I do, man. I'm old school. I wrote it down. So listen, I'm gonna bust out some words here. I want to. You got to tell me what comes to your mind first. 1 or 2 words.
Oh, okay.
You ready? As fast as you can. Ready? Muay Thai.
Fun.
Surgery.
Awesome.
Muay Thai World Cup.
The best.
Amateur Muay Thai.
Not me anymore.
KO.
Jerome Simbahan.
Win.
May 9th.
World Championships.
Anthony Palombo in Thailand.
Oh shit. Family.
Love.
Southpaw.
Dead.
Cardio.
The best.
Losses.
Needed.
Nice. Champion.
Me.
Golden era.
Muay Thai 1990 something.
All right. Thailand.
Soon.
Team.
Love.
Canada.
The best.
Distractions.
My phone.
Oof. Discipline.
I have.
Jerome Simbahan.
Great guy.
Danzu.
Also great guy.
Thomas Mandra.
Not so great guy.
We can get into that in a second. Goat.
Sorry, what was that? Goat, me.
Oh, listen to you. Skip that one. All right, moving on. I wanted to do some of these. Okay, give me one or the other.
Okay.
One championship, RWS.
RWS.
Clinch, no clinch.
No clinch, don't hit me.
Punches or elbows.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like 2 weeks ago, I would have said punches. But right now, with what I'm doing in classes and the stuff that I've been obsessed with, elbows.
It's funny how that works, eh? Knees versus kicks.
Kicks.
Sprints versus cardio.
Sprints.
Pad sparring.
Sparring.
Okay, don't look at me like that. It's just a
Sparring.
question.
Come on, sparring.
How dare you say that?
Yeah, like, what? How is that a question?
Bare knuckle boxing or MMA?
MMA.
Burgers or tacos?
Burgers.
3 rounds, 5 rounds?
5.
Clinch or distance? Kind of answered that.
Distance.
Pressure versus counterfighter?
Counterfighter.
Defense first, offense first?
Defense first.
Morning training, evening training?
Both.
You can only pick one.
For me, morning training.
Morning. Hard sparring, play sparring?
Play sparring.
Study opponent or just go fight?
Study.
Comeback win or highlight round 1 KO?
Comeback win.
Yeah, I agree. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Nice. Beauty. All right, last one, man. What was the other one I got here? Okay, top 3s here. Give me your what you can remember. I guess always think of like the top 3 off the top of your head. What are your top 3 hardest fights that you had?
Top 3 hardest fights? Oh, dude. Off the top of my head. Man, I've had so many fights that it's hard to come to hardest because they all are hard in their own ways, like
Sure.
I've had
like I guess when I say top 3, what I'm trying to say is like maybe it's only 1 or 2, but you shouldn't have to reach. Like what are the ones that kind of go ding ding ding?
Oh, they just fly off. So Daniel Zhu,
okay.
that was a hard fight. That was a hard fight.
Him too.
Thomas Mandra, that was a hard fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fought this guy in Seattle. His name was Harold Furman. I fought at like 160. And yeah, he was such a big, tough, strong dude. Like I was like, why did I fight this guy? So yeah, that one was hard too.
Okay. Top 3 most painful.
Most painful? Oh, I fought in Scotland, and I also fought this guy who fought at like 160 because there wasn't a lot of people signed up for the tournament. So there was only like a group of us that were like close to the same weight.
Sure.
So like we had to fight guys that were like, catch weights. And I fought this dude, and he was so tall, and he fought at like 160, and he was dropping these like drop elbows on me when we were clinching on the top of my head. That just hurt so bad that I still to this day, anytime I see an elbow come up, I'm like, no, not again. Like, that guy had and he was so bony that like it didn't even feel like he was wearing elbow pads.
God, that hurt.
Yeah, it hurt real bad.
And then from that day, when you go to tie your shoes on, all the blood rushing to you, ow,
Yeah,
throbbing,
man. Yeah, it's awful.
wearing a
Awful.
hat.
Awful. Also, I fought in Seattle, and I fought this guy. His name was Tyler Adams. That was for the 67 kilo unified rule, so it was kickboxing. And that fight was super painful because we just kicked each other's legs like the whole time. And after like the next day, like I couldn't even put my shoe on my left foot because of how much we were kicking.
Elephant foot.
Yeah, so it was my shins and my feet were obliterated for like a month after that.
Yeah,
just
man.
from kicking each other so much. It
Ugh,
was
low kicks.
crazy. And then most painful. Oh, I fought Abdul Wafar when I was like 18.
Oh yeah.
And he was the hardest dude that I've ever had to fight. Cause like the way that he hit me was just pain on a new level.
Sure.
Like I was just like, yeah, it was terrible. He
Big,
hit
strong dude.
It's huge. And I was like fresh 18 and I took that fight like on like a week notice. And I was like eating to like make weight for that fight.
Right.
And he was like cutting like crazy. Oh dude, it was awful. And he kicked me in the face and uppercutted me and like, oh dude, just awful pain that whole time.
Hardest losses.
Hardest losses. So this one's good. Thomas Mandra was a hard loss. That one wasn't really like, you know, like it was a hard loss because of what I expected of myself. So I think that was the hardest part of that one.
Okay.
Also hard loss. When I fought Shinjiri, because like I said, I expected more from myself. So that one was hard. And then what's another hard one? They're all hard. Oh, I fought in Virginia and I fought this guy for the I think it was 71 kilo or yeah, I think it was 70 or 71 kilo WKA title. And he finished me in like 30 seconds with a body kick.
Okay.
Like first round. Went out first round. He's southpaw too. Fucking motherfuckers. And I went out and first like 5 seconds were awesome. I hit him great punches and he kind of like got rocked a little bit and then he threw a left kick and I was done. And the fight was over. Like I couldn't breathe. Just got me in the right spot and fresh. Yeah. And I was just that one messed me up because I was like, dude, like, and I had like such a wicked camp for that fight. Like leading up, like I was the most prepared I've ever been in a long time for a fight. I had a nutritionist. Like I was locked in for that fight. It was training with Mo. Me and him we were both fighting southpaws. So we were just like vibing on the pads together and just had crazy good game plans and everything. And it was a hard loss because I went out and it was just like I didn't even get to try any of the stuff that we did. You know?
Fuck.
Yeah, dude, it sucked. It sucked so bad.
Yeah.
It was painful. Like it hurt so bad. I thought my rib broke for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I had to go to the doctor when we got back and my diaphragm was like super inflamed just because of the way that the kick landed. It just inflamed my whole diaphragm and like shut it down when I got kicked. So it was really weird. It's so sore for so long. It was such a weird, kind
of injury fighting.
Yeah, it was so. I've never had that happen. Like usually, like I've been hit the liver before, and then like you drop, and then you get up, and you're like, oh, fine, you know.
Right.
It happens.
Right.
But this one was like I remember the pain and like the pain after and how long it lasted, and then even just trying to get back to training stuff. I couldn't even hold pads. Like I couldn't wear a belly pad and have people hit it.
It's got to be broken.
Yeah, because I couldn't even have people like hit me in the stomach for like weeks after. Yeah, it was.
That sucks.
Yeah, the dude hit hard, man.
Jesus. Before we continue on, I also did want to say shout out to Jerome from Muay Thai in Australia. He was a great dude. I got to hang out a little bit with him, and
wicked.
I did ask him. I don't want to mention it to visitors, but I'm always curious. Do you feel the altitude?
Yeah,
and they all did.
Yeah,
God, like even Kieran the first time he came, was like, man, I'm dizzy. I got headaches. Like. I'm like, geez, it's just such an advantage living here. But I did ask Jerome, did you, because I did notice, I don't know if you did, but in between round 1 and 2, he was already sucking wind.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until like they just released the fight on YouTube for Muay Thai World Cup. I didn't notice that until I rewatched the fight.
Right.
And I was like, oh damn, I'm like, he's tired. Like, and like you look at me in the corner and I'm just chilling, like catching my breath. And he's like, oh my God, like you can see him like almost like panicking.
Yeah.
You know, with how tired he was.
So I asked, and he said, because I said, man, I look like you're breathing hard, and because we went for a bite to eat after. And he said, for whatever reason, man, when I came back from round 1, like, can you just remind me of the diaphragm thing? He said, my abs were so tight, man. I just couldn't get them to loosen up so I could take one breath.
Yeah.
I just wanted one expansion, and I just could not get it. And then I even asked him, like, do you think that played a part in the knee, you know, you getting dropped? And he's like, I mean, maybe. but he just was like, bro, that was a sick knee, man. Caught me so clean. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I would like to say that, but probably not.
He's such a real guy.
Good dude, man.
Dude,
So
he's so real, man. He
Yeah.
was awesome.
Good
You know,
dudes.
one of my favorite opponents to have fought for sure, because he was just, just real. Like came out, hung out, was
Yeah.
nice, and took the loss like a man. It was
Just what
cool.
it is, man.
Yeah,
It's just Muay
dude.
Thai.
Yeah, dude. He's sick. He's a sick guy.
All right, man. Before you leave, let's get into this. You called out Thomas Mandra.
Yeah.
You guys have been at it a little bit back and forth since that fight, kind of ish, or maybe a little more recently. But why do you want that fight back? Yeah, I know you explained on the first one, but let's revisit it.
Well, obvious reasons, right? Like, you go through, like I said earlier when I was talking about, the difference between champions and regular average fighters is, you take a loss and you grow from it and you change and you evolve and, you want to run it back because you're like, man, I'm different now. It's not the same fight. It's not the same guy anymore.
Okay.
So that's a big reason why I want the fight back, because I know, he's different. I know I'm different, and it would be just the fight that everybody wants to see, like there's nobody like in that weight class that's in Canada. Who else is there for that fight? It's me and him, like that's the top fight right now.
So in saying that, because let's look at this from the other side of the coin then.
Okay.
He stopped you. Why do you deserve that fight?
Yeah, so he stopped me, right? And like he's the champion, so he can pick his fights, right? Like he's totally at that, he's top of the weight class. He can fight whoever he wants to.
Sure. Defending, I think, world champion under a freedom fight.
Yeah, but also he knows with that fight the circumstances that we fought under, and that's why he wants it too, because he knows when we fought. I fought 2 weeks before that fight,
right?
And I fought a good guy, Will Ortiz,
right,
from Southside.
Yep. Great
fight. He went to IFMA. I think didn't he get bronze or something at IFMA?
I can't recall.
But dude, amazing fighter.
Yep.
Amazing fighter. I fought him. I'm busted up, injured. Thomas Mandra was at that fight. He was there in the back warming up one of his fighters. And I remember I was like, damn, this is Thomas Mandra. I'm like looking up at him. I'm like, damn, he's huge.
It's a long way up.
Yeah. So I was like, and we were sizing each other up in the back. There's a little bit of energy there where we were like, yo, like, I'd fight you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're circling.
Yeah. Like we're in the same weight class. Like right? Yep. So I go out and I fight, and then instantly we get back and there's a call. Oh, Thomas Mandra wants to fight you 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Would you take? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And at that time, like I said, I didn't have any nutritionist. I was terrible at my own nutrition. They do same day weigh-ins over there.
Yeah.
And we're not used to that here. Yep. Here we do day before. We do 24 hours. You get to rehydrate, fight, you get to cut weight. So I go over there and I do the exact same thing that I did 2 weeks beforehand and cut 10, 12 pounds or 15 pounds, something like that, to get on the scale to fight the same day, right, which you can't do. Yeah, literally 4 hours later, which you can't do, right, for obvious reasons. If you watch that performance, I'm not there. I'm a completely different guy. I'm standing there just getting hit. I had injuries, so I couldn't block certain things. Like my shins are all banged up from 2 weeks before. My arms are banged up from 2 weeks before. But I'm just a fighter like that I take fights. Somebody offers me, I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. Yeah. That's just, I've always been that way, and that's honestly why I've been so active, especially in North America. Like you see these other guys that fight, other than Ontario, there's not really many active fighters that fight as much as I do,
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I think there's sort of like 4 or 5 of you in the weight class that, I mean, in my opinion, if you guys haven't all fought each other once, you should do it twice or 3 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got a little round robin here at 147 kind of thing.
Well, and especially that fight was in the amateurs, right. It's like, we're not amateur anymore. This is professional. Yeah. Let's run it back, and, if, Mandra's the champ. So if he wants to defend it against somebody else who, they think is more worthy than me, then let him get that defense, whatever. I will be coming for it. So whenever it happens, but I'm coming, so if I got to get a couple wins under my belt first, I'll go do that, you know, but I'm on the way. So he knows it. I'm in his sights. He's staring right at me like, okay, he wants this. He's coming. So he knows.
So we're doing the dance again. It's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Like, I was trying to get it to happen in June, to be honest. But it's not going to, So I wanted it to. I was like, let's do it,
Sure.
But obviously, like me and Manager are actually fighting on the same weekend. May 9th, he's fighting in Ontario, and I'm
Oh yeah,
I'm
right.
fighting in Chicago. So we're both just coming off of a fight and stuff, and it's just the timing is kind of suit, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, if we want domestic fights, as in like national fights, like I said, there's the top shelf. There's about 4 or 5 of you, and whether there's been rematches, I'm sure there has, but like it feels like it has to happen if we want to keep it domestic. You know what I mean? Um. So here's my question about that. Then, after shedding this new skin, I want that back. I wasn't that guy. Are you? Are you worried that emotional guy you want that win back so bad that he might come back?
No, not even a little. There's like, there's no emotion tied to it because with that fight and when it happened, like it's gone.
Sure.
Like that fight happened then when it happened with those circumstances, it is what it is.
So then why do you want this fight specific? If that's gone, then why Manja so much?
He has the belt, man.
Okay. So that's what you want. Okay.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, I'm a champion. He's got the belt. That's my belt. Right. So I'm coming and take my belt.
Okay.
So regardless of whoever it is, like I just saw this morning actually. There's this promotion, Silvertooth Promotions, and Daniel Zhu, in Montreal. Yeah. Daniel Zhu is fighting a Mexican guy for a WBC title, and instantly I'm like, I want to fight whoever wins that fight now, right? Because there's a title on the line, right? So for me, those are the guys that I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, who has a title? That's the guy I want to fight.
Gotcha.
Like I want to fight the other champions. I don't want to fight just whoever.
So this isn't a beef. This is you're the champ. I want that.
Yeah. Gotcha. It's like, for me, this game is who's the best, and if you want to be the best, you got to fight everybody, so I don't care who's in front of me. I don't care who it is. I'm going to fight you. If I got to fight you 10 times, I'll fight you 10 times, But for me, the goal is the top, and you're sitting on one of the stepping stones. So I got to get you out of the way,
Gotcha. No, good, man. That's good. Good. That sounds for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Good. Love it. All right, man. You got any sponsors? Anybody want to shout out here?
So I have a couple sponsors. For my last fight, I had Cole International that sponsored a table. So huge thank you to you guys for sponsoring a table for me. I am Fitness Apparel that sponsors me for all my fitness apparel and stuff, which is awesome. They make like our tracksuits and stuff for the gym. They're amazing. Wicked guy. Dion's awesome. He like takes me out for lunch and we hang out all the time. He's nice. He's awesome. Also Fight Cartel sponsors me. They're amazing. Their stuff is pretty awesome. Any Muay Thai gear that you need, they got it. Yeah, they're wicked. Based in Vancouver, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're awesome. And then Old Town Pizza and Airdrie sponsor me. They're awesome. The pizza's good. Oh, dude, it's amazing. Amazing. Their donator pizza is to die for. Man, agreed. To die for. And then who else? And then just my gym, Bellegarde's Dragons. You guys are awesome. You guys are wicked. Best team in the world. And then, I want to thank, my family and anybody who trained with me for this last fight. It was crazy the support that I had, nice. And especially like, going into a fight like this, the support system that you have is what makes or breaks it. Sure. Like honestly, like especially at this level, it's, it requires everything, right? So if your support system has cracks in it, it will show, So the support system that I had, like my family, Mo, my friends, everybody who just supported me, and anytime I needed anything or, was feeling a certain way and just somebody to talk to, somebody to train with.
The support's there.
Yeah, the support system was there, and it just made this fight so much easier to go through, and just it's shown from just the performance, right? It was just everything was awesome. So everybody who supported me, even just liking my stuff on Instagram, if I post a story or post a video and you guys like and share it means so much more than you think. It means the world. So
awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. You get one shout out. Who gets it?
One shout out.
One person.
Oh, damn. Okay. I really got to think about this because people are going to be mad at me.
I know. That's why it's fun.
Yeah, you're brutal. I see why you do this. All right, so I'm gonna shout out my brother, Dewey Palombo.
Shout out to Dewey.
Shout out to Dewey, man. He really supported me through this whole camp. he every single day he was with me, hanging out with me, talking to me, asking me things. You know, we even hung out so much this one that he started training again, and so it's just been such a good time with him. He's actually coming to Thailand with me too.
Oh, cool.
In June to come help me fight out there in
Nice.
WBC World. So that's gonna be cool. So just huge shout out to him. He's
Yeah.
one of my giant, like, biggest anchors in my support system for
Nice.
sure.
Awesome. All right, man. Anything else before we're out of here?
No, man, thank you so much for having me. You know, I love coming out and just shooting the shit with you. It's
Absolutely,
so
bro.
much fun, dude. I love it. You know, just the stuff that we talk about
Yeah,
is
man.
always a good time. So thank you again. Like I love being here. So
Listen, man, Jerome, Kieran, everybody, myself, you're a good man. You're a great fighter. I love how also vulnerable you're willing to be with the things that have happened or do happen as a fighter. I think that gets skipped over a lot, and just we just talk about the mighty stuff and flex our muscles.
and that's not what it's about, man.
No,
Everybody knows that, you know, to grow and be good at anything, it's all those shitty moments that you go through, all those downfalls is what makes somebody successful. So, you know, you have to talk about them. You have to talk about those things that you don't want to say, you know, those hard losses and those hard moments, and
Yep.
those are what makes everybody great.
That's
So
right.
we need to talk about them.
And nobody cares. It's just you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I personally am a fan, man. I like you as a man. I like you as a fighter, and you got all my support, man. Especially after the last one, I was amazed, bro. I had stars in my eyes.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it so much.
All right, man. Listen, thank you very much, guys. I'll get this out today, and we roll on. Wow, what's going on? I think that's gonna be it. But next week, I don't know, man. I got a bunch down the pipe, but we'll get them figured out. In the meantime, catch you on the next one. Peace.
Wicked.